Welcome everyone to the third episode of our Culture Days Tea and Talk, where we are inviting people to have a cup of tea from home and watch as we speak to local collectors about things in their collection relating to the Victorian period, especially curious Victorian fashions. So we're speaking to you today from Rhodey House Museum, which is located on the traditional, ancestral, and unceded territory of the Musqueam, Squamish, and Tsleil-Waututh First Nations. And I have with me today Maryna Skinner, who is a local collector who has brought quite a variety of interesting Victorian pieces from her collection. So hello, Maryna.
Hi, Sarah.
So thank you for joining us, and it looks like you've brought quite an array of things with interesting patterns and some interesting construction. So just to begin, how long have you been collecting? For a long time, or?
It certainly feels like it. I feel like I've been collecting seriously from a more maybe academic perspective for about 10 years.
Oh, okay, wow. And do you find things sort of locally or elsewhere?
Well, it's a mix. It's nice to find pieces locally, but it's not a terribly common occurrence, unfortunately. I do source pieces from different dealers online, so there are pieces in my collection that come from the States. I also, of the stuff here, I have one piece that I purchased in Europe, and one piece I've been gifted, and there are a few of your pieces in here as well.
This is true. I did bring some of my things. I also enjoy collecting. I used to work in vintage before being here, so and this is how we also know each other. So do you find that when you were in Europe, was it easy to find things there, or is there just kind of less to be found in the thrift shops or that kind of thing?
Compared to here?
Yeah, compared to here.
Oh, well, Canada is a young country by most standards, as one could say. And so when I went to Paris, there's just a lot more stuff, right?
Yeah.
So the kind of things that are very rare to see here, were seen in abundance there.
Wow.
And they have the grand flea market, so that was really cool.
Interesting. And then you said, so in the States, it's easier to kind of find more things coming out of the States than sort of like here locally nearby.
Yeah, because they're also a bit older of a country from a settler's perspective.
Yeah.
And it's a more temperate climate, so the textiles tend to survive longer.
Oh, interesting. I did not know that. So let's start maybe with the first piece you have, because that looks, from far away, it looked like a more modern, could be like a 1940s fabric, but I know that everything you have here is older, so interested to see that one.
Okay. So just to preface, this piece is technically pre-Victorian, Georgian, if you will. Just give me a second. So this is what it looks like. The pieces I picked today, it was largely based on the sleeves.
That is a massive sleeve.
Yeah, so this is a piece from the, when it was first constructed, probably mid-1830s.
Oh wow, so very early. And so the sleeve circumference, is that how big? Because that is a very large sleeve.
It is a large sleeve. I have measured it once, and I believe it was 16 inches across at this point. That is large.
Yes. Would it have, I mean, it's so puffy, would it have drooped, or would it just sort of, would they have stuffed it with something?
Well, this example does have a stiffened lining that helps it keep its shape. I have seen, not in person, but in online museum collections, actual sort of, I forget what we would call them, but
braces, or?
well, they're just supports to keep the sleeves
Oh, okay.
poofed out, you know, made of like similar things that a bustle might be made of, like horsehair, for
Yeah.
example. But this piece kind of has it built in.
Its own thing. And I noticed it's also, the torso looks very short. Is that?
Yes. In this time period, we're kind of coming to the end of the fashionable empire waist. So the waistline is starting to drop back to where it would naturally be.
So I guess that's kind of a little bit midway. So the skirt would then, it would have been a sort of higher skirt.
For
So
sure,
it's
yeah,
nice.
and it would have been really voluminous.
Oh, okay. So just like a big bell shape, or?
Well, I tend to think of garments from this time as very doll-like, or just the way that women of means dressed in general.
Okay.
Because, it would have been a very voluminous skirt, but you would have been able to see the shoes, which would have been quite cute, and there would have been some sort of perhaps colorful bonnet, very playful and very of its time, if that makes sense. Like
Yeah.
things changed pretty sharply after this.
Oh, okay. And so I noticed that there is a sleeve missing, and is that?
This is the sleeve. The reason I purchased this was because the sleeve is